Hi, I'm Robin, and there is a fierce debate in my family about who was the first woman to vote, and that's because there were so many strong, dynamic, politically active women on both sides of our family. I am going to highlight Grandma Sally. She's right there, standing tall in the white dress in the middle of her family, born in 1900, my mother's mom. And I remember as a child spending my summers with Grandma Sally in Akron, Ohio. And I remember hearing that not only did she vote, she got to know who her local council person was because she wanted to make sure that the dirt streets were oiled in the spring and that if kids on one side of the railroad tracks got a tennis court, that the kids on her side of the tracks got a court too. This is Grandma Sally's daughter, my mama, also politically active as a voter. And beyond that, she served on so many boards, both locally and statewide in our home state of Mississippi. I can't tell you what a blessing to have been inspired to value my right to vote.
Hi, I'm Bernice A. King, and the woman who inspires me the most to value the right to vote is my mom, Coretta Scott King. This is a picture of my mom and me at my 40th birthday celebration. My mom was a fierce political activist. My mom was a fierce protector of rights. In fact, in 1948, while a student at the Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio, she became actively engaged in the Progressive Party, where Henry Wallace was seeking to become President of the United States of America. My mom always taught me and my siblings about the importance of the right to vote. Not only did she teach us that, she shared with us the numerous sacrifices that she and my father and so many women and men made to protect that right to vote for Black citizens, especially in the South. Because of her teachings and because of her example, I became a registered voter during my senior year at Frederick Douglass High School. Women voting is one of the ways that we become the soul of the nation. In honor of the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, I encourage all of us as women to continue to be engaged and responsible voters.
Hi, I'm Carla Hall, and the first woman who voted in my family that I was very close to was my grandmother, Freddie Mae Price Glover. She was born in 1908, and she was a force. And it's only in asking questions and inquiring for this project that I learned that my grandmother and my grandfather hosted Martin Luther King at their home when he was passing through Lebanon, Tennessee. I'm like, who knew? Why didn't I know that? But there's so much of the civil rights movement that took place in Tennessee, from Nashville to Memphis and everywhere in between. And there my grandmother was, and she cooked for him. Mrs. Jessie Price was a woman who was not going to just stay at home. She was a hairdresser and briefly sold furniture for a local furniture store dealer. She later became very actively involved in the planning for the civil rights movement as late as the 1960s, when she was in her 90s. I mean, go Mama Price. And the reason I'm saying that I think that she probably would have voted, so when the Voting Rights Act passed in 1965, my great-grandmother would have been 94 years old. And being as independent and as active as she was, she lived by herself alone until she was 100 years old. So I'm thinking, in the 6 years from when the Voting Rights Act was passed until she went to live with other people and she wasn't as independent, I could bet that she voted. And Mama Price lived until she was 103 years old. So although I can't prove it and I don't have any information, I'd like to think that my great-grandmother, Miss Jessie Price, was the first woman who voted in my family, and she was born in 1871.
I wanted to talk about my grandmother, Lulu Johnson. She was an amazing woman. She was born in 1894 in the state of Illinois, and was able to see and participate in her very first vote after the 19th Amendment was ratified. She was a strong, independent woman. She fought for human rights within her own community, and the right to an education, the right to medical care. She was very active in her community, in her various communities in Illinois, because she and her husband moved around. And as the years went on, instilled in me not only the sense of purpose when you vote, and that you're obligated to vote, that's part of who we are as Americans, but also the idea of giving back. She was the one that really taught me that giving back to your community, be it your local community or your world community, is what we as American citizens should all be doing. So I hope I've made her proud in some way, and I also hope that women learn from other women historically who really fought so that we could be where we are today.